to just make them dance. You wanna really get a message across, and something that inspire them. So that's why we were thinking of focusing, you know, completely focusing on that. I think people need that.
Yeah, they do. I know
Yeah.
they do. Yeah, they look at it.
Now, I can't help but come back to the thought, you mentioned it earlier about a journey, about life being a journey and always being interested to find out more things, and in terms of the miles that you've covered.
Yeah.
That's a long distance. Now, what are your plans at the moment? What's going on for you?
Well, we started this record company, and we're basing in London and in Manchester. We're going to put a base here because we're going to travel throughout the UK and establish that company for doing what we call a special kind of music. Because now you have a few really major record companies that they kind of monopolize everything that's coming out. So a lot of times people don't get a chance to hear what they really want to hear, and it has gotten even. I think that it's gotten even worse since just so many times passed and so much different kinds of music came out now. It's like it's really chaotic. So we want to be able to have the creative decision to make the kind of music that we feel people need to hear and then get it to them. So that's real important. That's real important for us now.
In terms of, you actually see yourself being based in the UK for the foreseeable future?
Well, we started in the UK because like we were in France for a while, and we still go through France, and we do a lot of business in Germany, and but since we stayed away from the UK got off track. They got off track for I think for programming our music and for and programming the kind of music that they really love. And because a lot of commercial music was coming in from America, so the radio stations and all that, they began to program a lot of stuff that people didn't want to hear, so people kind of backed up. So the UK kind of lost its emphasis that it used to have on music. Yeah.
And the UK never had this facetious separation of generations or genres as a priority. It was always a concentration on the greatness of music and its vastness all in one, whereas you would hear all kinds of music on a radio station played simultaneously, all age groups. The public wasn't ashamed to be 14 and know who Muddy Waters was, or somebody that in America would be considered to be, oh, that's old school or whatever. So now, as my husband said, us being away and not being a direct all-time influence on the jocks that would be playing our music, we find that many people are now being made to feel ashamed if they're a particular age, or made to feel that they should be separate from what's going on. When the rappers, we have so many samples going on of our music consistently, and everyone knows that the rappers are using the tracks from what they call, back in the day or whatever, but it's quite in this day because they're using it. So that's facetious. It's a fantasy. Doesn't exist.
I mean, commercially, I'm thinking about the commercial implication. When they sample your music, you obviously get paid for that, or do they?
No, we have to approve that.
Right.
We are owners of our copyright and of our publishing, and all. As a writer, even if you weren't your own publisher, you would have the right to approve who uses your music and puts their ideas on top of it. And we've always had good relationships like that with our people who check, or if we have an administrator, or if we have some of the catalog published by another publisher, they always have to check to see if it's okay and how much we want to split and all that.
So that's a question that interests me, because I think one thing about, in terms of your father, Sam Cooke, it's like that question that he was one of the very first people, who's identified as being one of the very first people to actually stop being just a performer and become a producer and being interested in the managerial aspect of his career, so that he's not just somebody that other people control.
That's right.
And this is something that comes out in what you're doing at the moment.
That's right. Because he taught me that. Yeah, very important.
Have you actually turned down any requests to use your music?
No, I think a lot of people, most of the people that have actually used it, uh, have tried to really come in a really decent way,
Yeah, they really have.
and we listened to him. We said
Yeah.
that's good. It's
Yeah.
not, it's not negative, you know. And so we've approved a lot of things, and I don't think so far I don't think we have had to
No,
turn down anything.
we
I don't,
haven't had to turn down
yeah,
anything. It's very good.
yeah.
We've had rappers from Little Romeo to Capone to Angie Stone just has out a sample of ours on her latest release. All the way
Puff
across
Daddy,
the
all
board.
this.
Puff Daddy. There's a Japanese group, a huge Japanese group that just did it. So we like it. That's good. I mean, the people that come to us usually really respect, and they want to impress us that they're doing a good job. So.
Well, that's true. That's true. So, just briefly, any impressions of Manchester? You've been here a couple of times now. How long have you been based up here now?
Not long, because we started in the UK just a few months ago, and we just started really getting settled. So we haven't had a chance to really like. But we came here a couple of weeks ago, and we did a kind of like an opening party for our new music in the book at
Dutch
a
Birds.
place called Dutch Birds. A
Pub.
friend of ours named Tony.
It's a pub.
Yeah, and it was really nice. The vibe was warm, you know. So we're putting together an album project and a DVD project with that and some other appearances that'll be in this area, you know, because it's about Northern Soul, you know, because I think soul music is still real dominant up this way, and that's a plus, you know, because that gives us a ground base to work from, you know, in launching this thing. You know.
Yeah, it's quite a circuit. I'm a big fan of Northern Soul, and
Yeah.
there are weekends and all sorts
Yeah,
of
we
things.
know, and people are very dedicated.
I met a guy, I don't know if you happen to know the name Don Gardner. He wrote,
Don
I've
Gardner,
heard
yeah.
of
he wrote a song called Cheating Kind, which,
Yes.
I mean,
Is that the Don Gardner was out years ago?
yeah.
That's what he's
This
talking
record's
about.
64.
Don
I need your loving.
Cheating kind.
Cheating Kind is the only one that I know. And
No,
No,
he
I
had a
need your
big song. I
loving,
need
baby.
your loving. He was singing with a girl named Dee Ford. Don
Yeah.
Gardner and Dee
You
Ford.
don't know I need your loving every day?
I need your
Man, you would love that.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Check
whoa,
it
whoa.
out. You go on
It's a world-
LimeWire or
it's a world.
somebody and find I need your loving every day. That's hot.
Yeah, he plays organ. If he's the same guy,
Yeah. The reason that he's quite famous, I mean, in a particular way, because he made a recording called Cheating Kind. It's on a label called Sedgwick from early mid '60s. But anyway, this record goes for like £8,000, the actual recording.
Wow.
And he came over and did a set, or he did his song and one other song as well. The guy was in his 70s and he was up on stage in Aberystwyth, it was. Or was it Llandudno? I can't remember. But somewhere in North Wales. At a Butlins holiday camp at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm shaking his hand thinking it's a very strange world, this, isn't it? But it goes to show, I mean, there's a big circuit of soul-loving music. I mean, Northern, modern crossover. And as well,
Yeah, that's a plus, you know, because well, London is more commercial, so I mean, they still play a lot of different kinds of music, like on the different BBC shows they got, you know. But they're making a wide interest for real commercial type music. You know, in other words, like if you would just sit back, you would think you was listening to a radio station in America. You know. No, not even. They don't even play that many English acts. You know.
No.
Yeah, so it's like you say, yeah, okay, this is like more like an import station. Yeah, that's okay, but like for people that are doing music, they need the outlet. They need places. They need that airplay. They need that support. They need to have people. They need to be able to get to the people that like the kind of music they do. Yeah.
It's a curious thing because I mean, we live in a very sophisticated world now. You can record a record and put it on the internet, and it can be heard around the world. But the thing is, there's millions of records out there already. And when you started out, this is something that interested me, to be honest with you, in terms of the soul music scene. It's about the fact that most of the records are recorded on small labels, very low tech, practically speaking. I mean, just a studio, people go in, bang them out. If it was collected by a radio station, played, and it might generate an interest and get a distribution deal and get manufactured. But chances are you'd record and your record would be heard within like a 50-mile radius of where it was recorded from.
Yeah, we'll see.
The local radio stations again, because they were the prime way that people would have heard music back in the 50s, 60s, early 60s.